Welcome to the world of Meg's mysteries, ghosts, thrillers, and murder. Sit back and watch the mysteries unfold if you dare. Mysteries from the past and into the future. Please don't forget my podcast.
Welcome back to Meg's Mysteries. This story is called My Lovey. What a beautiful Victorian manor house. Just what we always wanted. And what a price you can't beat. Let's check it out. On our vacation in London, England, we saved up for years for this extravagant trip to see Europe in all its historic glory. My husband's family lived here before they moved to America. He always wanted to visit where they came from. His great-great-grandfather, Dr. Edward Bentley, a well-respected surgeon in London Hospital. He moved his family to start a new life in America. He had an offer to be chief surgeon in a hospital in the States, an offer he couldn't refuse. So the whole family moved and prospered. We're all off to England now. We love exploring and thinking of moving here permanently. Old history is our thing, and what a better place to be, where the history begins. A supernatural history all around us here. While we're on vacation, I saw a sign, 17th century Victorian manor home, and the price was right. Little did we know we also had a history in this very manor home, and a mystery to solve. We moved in the Victorian manor house on Windsor Street, across from a beautiful park, rows of old family historic homes of the wealthy, and some old families still occupied the ancient homes. But this one on 2525 Windsor Street was vacated for years. It had a reputation for strange occurrences. Many people bought and sold it through the years, from the 1700s till now. The owners found it hard to explain the eerie things that took place. Most only lived there for 3 or 4 years before selling it at a very low price just to leave. They didn't care how much they lost, only they couldn't live there. But why? So we got it for the lowest price ever. It was still a beautiful home, and we wanted it. Everything was original, fully furnished, and ready to move in. 4 stories, large basement, attic, servants' quarters, also a garage in the back, and a beautiful greenhouse. Eddie and my 2 children, Philip and Bonnie, we all just fell in love with the place at first glance. We didn't care about the rumors and the mystery that surrounds the house. It was perfect. Eddie is a writer, and I do all his artwork for his books on mystery and supernatural. This will be a great inspiration for more books. The kids ran to claim their rooms. Philip chose the dorm room on the top floor where the servants' quarters used to be. Bonnie on the 3rd floor wanted 2 rooms. One was a nursemaid's room connected to a nursery. A little girl must have had this room, the nursemaid near to her. The little girl's furniture and wallpaper from long ago are still in pristine condition. We took the large suite on the 2nd floor and had our own office rooms on the 1st floor. One must have been the owner's library and office that were nearby. There's also a large parlor, dining room, and ballroom for entertaining. An old kitchen and greenhouse in the back of the house. It was just like stepping back in time. After settling in for a couple months, visitors started to come by and tell their tales of this house. One was a very old gentleman who lived 3 houses down, a Dr. Martin, retired now and a busybody from what we found out. He couldn't wait to tell us his story, strange voices and other scary things that happened through the years. He said, "I don't know if you heard, I bought my house from your relative, a Dr. Edward Bentley, and his estate. Your great-great-grandfather, I presume. I looked into it when I heard your last name. What a coincidence, isn't it? Well, he was my best friend. He was the best friend of the owner of this manor house, the first owner, the family, Sir Robert Alsberg. and his beautiful wife, Millicent, and their 2 children, Robert and Missy. Many parties and gatherings were held here until the incident. I found a diary in my desk when I bought the house of your great-great-grandfather, Dr. Bentley. He tells just what happened that night, what he saw. I must tell you it all to warn you, so to speak. Eddie and I said, we love to hear it. We love history and mystery. As you know, I'm a writer of mystery and tales, he said. I said, yes, do tell. I'll take notes. He said, I'll give you the diary. I don't need it anymore, but I came to warn you. This house has a dark past. Lily, Eddie said, I felt it as soon as we stepped in. There's a mystery here. I told him, I did too. We were meant to be here. I know it. Dr. Martin left the diary, and we will go through it later. There's a great story to tell, Eddie said, and it's my own relative's words. That night, Bonnie woke up. She heard and saw something. A voice of a little girl, but she didn't understand it. She got scared and went to Philip's room. Wake up, there's someone in my room. Come see. Then they both saw a young woman in old-fashioned clothes like a maid in the corner of the dorm room. Philip said, who are you and how did you get in here? She smiled and said, I'm Katie. Bonnie said, no, there's a little girl in my room. And then the lady walked to Bonnie's room. Philip and Bonnie followed her. This is Missy, my charge. I am her nursemaid and guardian. How did you get in here? Philip asked. Well, young Master Philip, we are always here until we can move on. Maybe with your help, hopefully, you will be the ones to solve the mystery and tell our story and free us. Then both Katie and Missy disappeared. Philip and Bonnie ran to their parents' room, so excited but not scared. They grew up with their father's ghost stories and supernatural things. This is great, they told them. This is what happened. We'll wait for the spirits to reveal their tale. Also, with the diary that Dr. Martin gave them, it's all coming out now. The next few days revealed more. Bonnie and Philip found photos in the attic while playing there, photos of Robert and Missy Osborne, and a wedding picture of Dr. Robert and Millicent Osborne hidden away. Then Bonnie was in her room that used to belong to Katie, the nursemaid. Behind an old bookshelf, she found a wooden box with a doll and a book in it. The first edition of Sherlock Holmes, A Study in Charlotte. One of the first Sherlock Holmes books in perfect condition. What a find. Then she saw a little girl. Missy appeared. Oh, my lovey, you found her, and Robert's book that our mother gave us, the last gifts on her last day. Oh, my lovey. And then she disappeared. Bonnie went and told her parents and Philip more clues. But what is the real story? The diary states a little more. Dr. Bentley was attending the holiday party here, the Osborne's Christmas Eve party. So he saw just what happened, the tragedy. He wrote what he saw that happened that night. The true story came out later. The nursemaid, Katie, she came out and told the real tale from the start. Also, it was in the book, a note from Robert in his own book tells what he saw. Their mother, Millicent, had been very ill for a long time and was dying. The night before she died, she called the children and the nursemaid, Katie, in, and she gave them their last gifts, the book for Robert and the doll for Missy. Missy was only 3 years old and Robert 8. She kissed them and hugged them tight and said, I will see you again someday, my lovies. She used to call them both her lovies. She died that night. She made Katie promise always to take care of her children. The next year, Sir Robert married again to a family friend, Lady Diana, who was supposed to be the first wife, Millicent's best friend. She turned out to be an image of a wicked stepmother who hated the children and wanted to have nothing to do with them. She also hated the servants, who were the first Mrs. Osborne's loyal servants. Lady Diane was having her first Christmas party. All her rich friends and the doctor's friends will attend. She wanted to show off her new wealth and station as the lady of the manor. She told the servants to keep the children out of sight. But Robert and Missy were playing up in the dorm rooms. Robert was making up a mystery for them to play and wanted to use Missy's doll as a prop. She said, "No, it's my Lovey," and she ran from him. He chased after her, and they were both laughing and squealing, running up and down the halls. She was yelling, "My Lovey," but laughing all the way, and he was laughing too. "What's this racket, all this noise?" Lady Diana screamed at them. "Stop it right now. My guests are due to come soon." Then she yelled at Katie, who was nearby. "This is how you watch them like they're wild animals? Put them to bed." But before that, she grabbed Missy's doll. "Give me that horrid doll. And stop that yelling." Missy started to cry. "It's my Lovey," she cried louder and louder. "Put them to bed now and out of my sight, or you're fired," she said to Katie. Robert took Missy's hand and whispered, "We'll get it back later. Come on." Katie put Missy to bed, saying, "It's all right, darling. I'll get it for you later." And Robert went to his room. But Missy couldn't wait. She snuck into Lady Diana's room and found the doll on a top shelf in the closet. She smiled and said, "My Lovey," but she couldn't reach it. So she went to get Robert, and they both slipped into the room to get it, knowing any minute they can get caught. "What are you two doing in my room?" yelled Lady Diana. She had forgotten something and came back in. "I caught you both red-handed. Give me that doll." Missy held it tight and ran, screaming, "My Lovey." Just then, Dr. Bentley and Sir Robert came out of his office. "What's all this noise?" Sir Robert said. On the top of the stairs, Missy was hugging her doll. "It's my Lovey, Daddy," and she ran down to him. Robert and Katie couldn't stop her, and she fell to her death, still holding her doll, now on the floor in front of her father. She lay there like a broken china doll, still holding her Lovey. Lady Diana screamed and blamed Katie for not watching her. She wanted to fire her on the spot, but Sir Robert had made a promise to his wife that Katie would always watch the children. Now she would watch only Robert. Robert tried to tell his father what really happened, that it was Lady Diana's fault, but no one believed him. She was a loving stepmother when Sir Robert was around. He never knew her true feelings. Lady Diana didn't care. She'll send Robert away soon to boarding school and get rid of that nursemaid for good. And on her way to the top, she'll be the best mistress of this house. Good riddance to both children. She hated them both. But that didn't happen. 2 days later, Lady Diana saw and heard something that changed everything. My Lovey, she heard. "What is that? Someone trying to scare me? Well, it won't work." She blamed Robert and Katie and the other servants until she saw the spirit on the staircase. Missy holding her doll, broken like a china doll, saying, "My Lovey." Then she went toward her. It made Lady Diana run and tripped down the very stairs that killed Missy. Katie and Robert saw it all. They also heard Missy's ghost calling for her Lovey. They both saw her and smiled. Or did they have something to do with it all? Did they help Missy get her revenge? So we took the doll to the family mausoleum and placed it by her coffin. The spirit of Missy and Katie appeared and moved on. Also, we placed a rare book by Robert's coffin. Even though he had a long life, a wonderful life with his own family, we thought it was best to return his last gift from his mother to him. We solved the mystery and are still here in this wonderful old manor house we now call ours. Father and Mother wrote the story of Missy and her Lovey, and many more books are in the works. There's always a mystery to solve. Philip and I are starting our own mystery book, Living with Spirits, and we want to be great authors someday. I hope you enjoyed this one. Come back for more on Meg's Mysteries. Enjoy your evening.
Forget my fault.